rapping and shit in college. Your ability to survive is to remain anonymous. You go on the ground like a priesthood. That's how you do it. You go on the ground like a priesthood. You do the same thing the boys do. They don't be bumping their goddamn guns. You don't know shit about them. See what I'm saying? So that's how you do this stuff. You go underground. How many Masons you ever seen? See what I'm saying? Every now and then you'll hear one. You see what I'm saying? But you have never seen him announce today that he was a Mason. So it's the same thing what you do. You take your stuff underground. Now this is how you do it. We got the big mouth niggas out there. You separate yourself from them. You make a circle within a circle. And let them niggas go out there parading and shit. You see the Black Panther Party? Terrorist deal. All of that stuff is terrorist. You see what I'm saying? Hell, you might need to call yourself a damn Christian just to get by. I might walk around with my little Bible and shit. You see what I'm saying? Well, I'll be disguised and shit. You see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, get you a Bible and walk out and whatever you gotta do. But you gotta be undercover these days. You never let the people know what you're doing. So you give off and you make a circle within a circle. You serious people, go underground. You can still be in the organization. Be one room with those stupid ass niggas out there, and you be in another damn room. You see what I'm saying? So we got our exit strategy when shit get rough. With them fools out there. Y'all all right? Okay. Let's move on. All right. Let's move on. The name Michael was Michael Joseph Jackson. Michael Joseph Jackson. And in the Kabbalistic sphere, Michael Joseph Jackson is 20 words. And 20 words right on the line means this. You get the picture. 20 words average up to, in the Egyptian cosmology, or the numerology, it adds up to this particular person right here. Harpocrates. Harpocrates is the baby Horus. Harpocrates is the baby Horus. Harpocrates, or Heru Pakrat, is the baby Heru. The word Michael Jackson represents 20. It also represents Virgo. Remember I was showing you a picture of the Virgin Goddess. The Virgin Goddess is Isis, but she becomes Virgo. Now, it's interesting here because on Michael Jackson's birthday is a birthday lineup in Egypt. What's that, 29th? August 29th? August 29th is the birthday of Hathor, the birthday of Hathor, Tiamat, Ishtar, Astarte, Isis, Sekhmet, Ishtar, Astarte, Azuli, Elowedo, Mawa. It's the goddess of the Egyptian egg. Everything Yin and Ya, Kuan Yin, Elowedo, Atabe. There's all these particular goddesses. He lines up. He comes straight out of this realm of the goddesses and all. Now, this is the deal. This is the book called The Goddess Book of Days. It gives you every day that is based on the goddesses by Diane Stein. For some reason they won't put this thing back in print, but you can get it on the internet for about $3 or something. It's called The Goddess Book of Days by Diane Stein. This book lines shit up. Diane Stein, The Goddess Book of Days. She got another book called Every Woman is a Psychic. Also. I should have brought my towel out that hotel room.
Crocodiles with the red light.
Yeah. I'll tell you what that is in a few minutes. So now, Harper Potts is the baby Horace or the baby Heru. Now, Michael Jackson had a movie to come out on December the 25th. It was called The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, where the guy was born old and became young. Michael Jackson was called a man-child when he was a little boy. He was a man-child, and he became a child man. It was reversed. So he came in as a man-child. He ran shit when he was a little boy. You see what I'm saying? And right after Thriller, his stuff started to just reverse. You see what I'm saying? Into a child man, and ultimately into Harper Potts. The baby Horace, or you call it baby Jesus. The baby Jesus. Now, the brother C. Freeman L. taught us back in 93 that Archangel Michael and Michael Jackson was a form of the Archangel Michael. Now it's interesting. I heard in Jet magazine the other day that Farrakhan said the same thing. Anybody heard they said that Farrakhan in Jet magazine said that Michael Jackson was a form of the Archangel Michael. You didn't get that from me, because when I did my show on the other Monday and stuff, I think this only came out a couple of days after that. So he was on it. But this is interesting. This is a book called Sedona Magazine. It's called the Journal of Emergence. And what they're saying here, the Archangel Michael channeling. What is the date? June. There's supposed to be a 9 on the end. I should have shifted it back when I put it on the Xerox machine. June 2009. The book came out this past May. It came out this past May. And it's talking about the channels of Archangel Michael. They even got Raphael, Uriel, Metatron, and all the ones I was talking about. But in here, it's 2009, and it came out in May for June. What are the odds of this Archangel Michael magazine coming out in May for June, because it come out a month early, and it comes out the same month he makes the Ascension of the Sedona magazine has that. You see what I'm saying? You see. Now it's interesting here because his mother was Jehovah's Witness. And in Jehovah's Witness, they believe that Archangel Michael and Jesus is the same. So she knew what she was doing when she lined that up. You say, well, how can he be the same as Jesus? Because there was never no physical Jesus walk the earth. These were levels of attainment. And if you have a baby under the formulas that you put down, then he takes on those attainments, and he even takes on the biblical Jesus because he ends up dying. You see what I'm saying? But you must understand something based on the energy or archetype. If there's anything in the physical world that would resemble Jesus as the impact of the world, then you got to understand that would be a Michael Jackson based on that energy. You understand where it comes from? Now, is he the Jesus or the Christ, the ultimate aspect of Christ? Well, the ultimate aspect of Christ is actually in all of us. You understand what I'm saying? That's the mystery to it. Since there was no historical person, it was in all of us. It's an attainment. Now, he didn't attain, he has to attain it on the spiritual level now. That's where he's going. So his death was the start of his initiation in the other realm, but he attained it in the physical realm because he came in reverse. Usually we come in as a baby and we attain stuff to adulthood. He came in as an adult, went to a baby. Now he's attaining his Christ level in the spiritual realm, but on the physical realm, he's the manifestation of what can happen physically in a physical manifestation. God damn it. Do I have to say anymore? Hell, just last week, Thriller got another $800,000 worth of sales. You understand what I'm saying? So now, the Harper is 20. Now this is interesting here. He even says right here, this is it. This is it. You see what I'm saying? This is it. That's eerie. Now this is the mystery on this. The mystery here is that he had to make the ascension because he was age 50. Now, to understand what went on, I had to go through another ordeal and ask another question about 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I wanted to know what happened to a deity or this particular brother who was a magician or musician called Noel Porter. Anybody ever heard of Noel Porter? He was the black violinist. He was the youngest person for the Philharmonic Orchestra in the 1970s. He went on and he recorded from the 1970s to the mid-80s. Then he just went and performed. He was also instrumental in being one of the performers that did things with the burial site down here, Wall Street. He was active in that.
He was actually my first cousin.
He's your first cousin? Oh, hey. Right. Now, how did he die?
That's a good question. I mean, he was in a coma for like about just sort of a week.
Yeah, but what caused the coma?
Don't know.
All right. Now, let me give you the answer. I wanted to know what happened to Noel Porter. Because he died at 40 in 1994. Oh, okay, that's another cycle. So he died at 40 in 1994. So I wanted to know what happened. I wanted to know that they killed him or something. So I wanted to get into some stuff I wanted to know. Because I do know this Harpocrates figure here is another musician or another magician. This particular one shows up in Greece as the god Pan, and he has a fiddle. He has a fiddle. He either has a flute as Krishna, he has a fiddle as Pan. And so I asked the question when we have ways of getting in touch with people on the other realm. So we called him up. We dialed his ass up from the hereafter and said, what happened, man? Did somebody kill you? And he said, no. And this is when he gave me an indication on what this Michael Jackson stuff was about. He said, no. He said, as you knew, I did the violin. He said, I did the violin. He said, and as you know, that's a Pan figure. Peter Pan, never supposed to grow old. He said, as you know, that's a Pan figure. He said, and what had happened was, when I turned 40, I ascended. I wasn't supposed to go past 40. I was a childlike spirit, and I wasn't supposed to go past 40. I said, fair enough, I know exactly where you're coming from. So when this happened with Michael Jackson at 50, which is called the 50 Gates of Understanding in the Kabbalah, there's 50 oars in the Argonaut, in the ship of the Argo. There's 50 Hercules, which is a form of Horus. There's a baby Hercules that's being poisoned, and they put serpents and scorpions in his bed. And when they wake him, when they come in, he has the scorpions crushed to death, and he's playing with them because he's Hercules. Hercules, Horus, Hercules, Heru, Harpocrates. This is the baby Hercules. So he's got scorpions he's playing with, which is dangerous. And he's standing on crocodiles. You see what I'm saying? Nothing can harm him because of his innocence. Because of his innocence. So Harpocrates, what happens here is, there's the 50 gates of understanding. There's 50, see if I can find this right quick. There's 50 sons of Hercules. There's 50 sons of Hercules. There's 50 sons of Horus. This is the 50th year anniversary of the 50th state, Hawaii. It became a state in 1959. Michael Jackson had to come back to the States to die. He had to die as the Archangel Michael in the city of angels, Los Angeles. So he came back here to practice so he could go back to the tour. He wasn't going to finish the tour. He was going to die on the tour. Had that happen. But they had to give him, he had to ascend before he turned 51. That would be August 29th. And there was a certain time he was going to go. It had to happen because he was going to go to Europe in, anybody got some water? I'm out. Yeah, and I don't know, somebody drunk out of this. I don't know shit. Fuck around and turn gay. All kind of shit be happening now and shit. Shit. You never know. You laying on the bed and start twitching and shit. Shit. Already ate some damn weenies in the fork and beans. Don't want to be hankering for no weenie. Now, these days you never know. They say tofu turn you gay. You've heard that before, the Matrix books? Tofu make you feminine. Give you all that estrogen and shit. Mm-hmm. You see.
Where does that shit come from, though?
What?
Where does that shit come from, that gay shit?
Well, I'm just saying, man, you know.
I was growing up, I never saw
Well, no, now it's just programming, man, you know, of the society we live in. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Mainly from rap music, because they got all that gay shit behind it.
Yeah,
And all of them are gay. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You see, you know, always hanging with the boys. You know, hanging with the boys and stuff. So now, but that's a whole other lecture. Valentine gonna tap into that tomorrow, so y'all talk to him about that. That's what he going into tomorrow. So you know, you ask that question to him and stuff like that. But I'm gonna give you another take on it also that you can't misconstrue too. But anyway, he had to come and he had to die in the city of angels before he left at the age of 50. Because 50, he's a childlike spirit and he wasn't supposed to go past 50. But his 50 was lined up Kabbalistically. The 50 gates of understanding. There's 50 dots in Erzuli's heart. I had a picture of Erzuli's, the goddess. There's all this stuff on the 50. You see what I'm saying? And the Archangel Michael and the word MJ, as A.A. Rashad Kabbalistically broke down, told me yesterday, averages to 50 also. So these things, so he had to come and make this ascension. It was an ascension. It was an ascension because they can't, so they're going to deal with all the drug shit because they can't understand how this man can die and there was nothing wrong with his heart. They took it, there was no heart attack, they don't have nothing. So now all of a sudden they got to come with something. So they're going to come with all the drug stuff. Why? See, when you just automatically die and they can't find out, that means something comes and snatch you. You see what I'm saying? So he was snatched to the other world. Let me get some notes on this thing right quick. Now, on the 50 gates, the 50 gates is known as, let me start eliminating some of these pictures that way I can find what I want to find. There's 50, there's supposed to be 50 dots in this Erzuli thing. This Erzuli thing. The 50 gates in Kabbalah is called Bina, or Bina. This is the Kabbalah. This is one aspect. This is an Egyptian one. And so they have Neptes. The 50 gates is called Bina, which deals with Saturn. The Saturn deity is called Baron Samedi. I talked about him the last time, with the top hat. Which is Sunday is Saturday. Saturday is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the great chastisement. It's the black planet. There's a book called Saturn, and you look at the old devil. It's called Saturn Chronos. Now, in this, so as you can see, he put on the top hat, which means, hey, it's time to go. Baron Samedi with the top hat. It's time to go. You see what I'm saying? I had the other picture out here too. Put on the tab, the god of the graveyard. The goddess of the graveyard. The goddess of the graveyard has a wife called Brigitte. And she's the one that actually when you die, she comes and she's the one that grabs your hand and reacclimates you into the spirit world and stuff like that. So she immediately came and started working with him. Now, started working with him. Now, the Archangel Michael is supposed to give over. The Archangel Michael, based on Rudolf Steiner's work over a century ago, is supposed, that age of Michael is supposed to give over to a deity, or the age of a deity, a Saturn deity called Raphael. So when he put on the hat, he lined up with the Saturn deity that was supposed to replace him, called Raphael. Raphael is supposed to be a later manifestation of this god, going to the highest manifestation of Baron Samedi. Of Baron Samedi. So what happened was back in the end of March, we started getting this transmission from this Raphael. I said I never heard of him. The sister, the sister who got it is a sister that's in her 60s, and she came down. She said something with this Raphael. And so we had to dig real deep, and we did find some stuff on this Saturn deity. But when we got the transmission and actually got in touch, he said, I'm coming this summer. And he came because when he came, he was supposed to replace Michael. So when he did, his energy did come in, it came in around the 12th, which was the same time that they cut off the doggone regular analog TV in the converter box. So he came on the 12th, and his engine started building, and he replaced Michael, so Michael Jackson had to go. So a whole nother energy. It's a whole nother energy. But so it's this energy that replaced another energy. Now it's interesting here, dealing with Michael, and if you get this book, the Archangel Michael, dealing with Michael, and let me see if I get my glasses. It tells you right here the reason why he was connected with those children, as we told you if anybody got the last blog talk, that in the book of Daniel it says Michael was set over the children of Israel. So he was supposed to deal with children. And the people couldn't understand it. I think that if Michael, they would have had a greater understanding if he hadn't started disfiguring himself. You see what I'm saying? So when it all came down, it's easy to believe that he's a freak by looking like a damn freak. And you figure, hell, he might have copped a few feels or whatever with some Jesus juice or whatever type thing. You see what I'm saying? Which he didn't, but my point here is, it was set up for the taking, and I think it was also set up for the taking for the simple fact he wasn't supposed to go beyond a certain point, and this was a part of the ascension process, the ascension process, of the ascension process. Let's see, moving right along. This is interesting here because now, when we are down here with no knowledge, we are called the sleeping Vishnu, or the sleeping Buddha, later on the sleeping Buddha. The sleeping Vishnu, or the sleeping Buddha, and as you can see, why is it that we have the same pose? You see what I'm saying? The sleeping Vishnu, and he's a form, and the whole concept is a form of Vishnu, because he's one of the Harpocrates, or one of the actual figures that we know of is Krishna. Krishna blows a flute. Krishna blows a flute. Always raise your hand. That way you never, that way you never raise your hand. I'll stop so you can get this information and to change it, because the people want to kill you when you come out and some shit doesn't cut off, and I was getting ready to make a difference. Always raise your hand. You see what I'm saying? When you're changing stuff, you see what I'm saying? On that particular level. I'm just trying to tell you what to do. You see what I'm saying? Now, so the sleeping Vishnu, when we're in the physical body, we are known as the sleeping Buddha or the sleeping Vishnu, because we're not having the consciousness. Well, But also Vishnu is also a form of Krishna with the flute. He's an incarnation of Krishna. But Vishnu has several incarnations. But obviously Michael was a form of the sleeping Vishnu. He had enough Christ energy to transform the world, to transform music. You see what I'm saying? But he didn't have enough cosmic consciousness in the physical body, you see what I'm saying, to save himself and stuff like that. But then again, that wasn't his job. His job was to take all the energy and put it into what he was doing. That's why all great artists are tragic figures, because they put all of the energy in the art form, and it leaves them vulnerable for life, which is preyed upon. You see, which they are preyed upon. So there's a difference in the reason why it is that type of way. But in that particular king, so Vishnu was a Christ figure, and so therefore he was always alluding to the Christ aspect as a king. King Michael. Now it's interesting here, because if you get the book, The Messiahs of the Dead Sea Scrolls, when they dug up the Dead Sea Scrolls, a book by John White, Messiahs of the Dead Sea Scrolls, and so this is stuff that's telling you what the Messiah originally was before it became the concept that they put on a man in Jerusalem. Messiah simply meant the very great artists of the community, the great politicians of the community, the great spokesmen of the community, the great just about anything that is a lofty height in an office was called a Messiah. You see what I'm saying? So in this particular case, he was a Messiah. Based on what the Dead Sea Scrolls said, that it would be someone of a lofty height, and this particular person went to the top of the world with it, that's the Messiah. Based on what the Dead Sea Scrolls say. But no different than Bob Marley, no different than Jimi Hendrix, no different than Marvin Gaye. And if you notice, all of those people have one thing in common. Bob Marley, Marvin Gaye, Bob Marley, Marvin Gaye, Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix. What's the boy that went down in the plane crash? Otis Redding. They got one thing in common. Nope. You will never know them as an old person. You see what I'm saying? Michael was the oldest of all of them. Jimmy left at 27. I think Marvin Gaye left at 44 or 43. Otis Redding was either in his early 30s or late 20s. Bob Marley was what, 32? Or 36? My point here is they're not supposed to go beyond a certain realm. You will never know. They're etched in history, which make them mystical. That is the God, that is the grand act was to die. Because death is the ultimate principle. Because I know he's saying, God damn it, I ain't got to pay back that fucking money. I got my nose back. You see what I'm saying? I let them deal with them children. Now come on. They come from a black family. They come from a black family. You can strip off your skin, but you ain't got no control over some shit that's in your nutsack. I'm sorry. Them niggas are gonna come out pecan tan or something. One of them niggas look like, he blonde and stuff, he look like one of them Hitler children, you know them, that master race shit. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to say, come on now, you can leave that shit if you want to. Give me some pecan tan or something. We're not talking about, I can see if it's, you know what I'm saying, I can see if it was Smokey Robinson or somebody, but even that. But we're talking about a dark-skinned family with big noses, and you don't give me no traits. They're gonna come out with the doggone cosmetic surgery noses too. Come on, man. Now that girl in England, she said it. She said it in England that he paid her to get them children to him. So like, drop them kids on off. It's like going to the supermarket and shit. You know what I'm saying? What's that?
I had a question about that. I was thinking, do you think with that pan energy that he was kind of making like a eunuch? And I was wondering why he would have some other man's sperm.
He told me he never had sex before.
Right.
He told me he never had sex before. Huh? I'm going to tell you something now. Cheryl said something. Cheryl said the night he died, she said, look, I knew him good. She said that person in the 70s, she was talking about that man-child. She said when she met him again years later, because they crossed their path didn't cross for a while, she said that person was not the same person. Now, I think personally, because when I first got, he was a clone. But what I realized later on, what they was actually saying was that you can have a personality that can morph into something so different than what it originally was, and even that's considered a clone of, or what they call in the voodoo a zombie-like type figure. So I think that basically it morphed into something else, and it's just like that Benjamin Button. I think that what it was and what I was getting is he was set on a backwards course just like that, and that child energy started taking over. You see, I think some shit reversed in him, and that child, because he was a man-child and he became a child-man, and I think that was what it was and stuff like that. So when Cher said, when I met him again, this was not the same man I used to know, and she wasn't even talking about experience, she was talking about essence. She said his mannerisms wasn't the same. That's that child man. I think that what we have here is a spiritual phenomenon, an anomaly. He literally became the Harpocrates figure. You see what I'm saying? He became the living aspect of the baby Jesus. You see what I'm saying? You know, them little high water pants, them little white socks and shit, and like I said, them little Captain Crunch outfits and shit. You know. But you gotta look at this. In order to take the world, in order to take the entire planet, you can't resemble the regular human. That's what makes him mystical. We talked all that shit about Michael Jackson. He came to Harlem in 2002, and niggas, Harlem, big buck, niggas in Harlem, they stand on the corner talking shit all day. They ran behind the goddamn limousine. Running behind the limousine at that nigga. I've seen some of them niggas, they even had some Panthers running behind the limousine. Because they was in the presence of something different. That was a Christ energy. That was a Christ energy, and that's why the boy knew that he had to take him down. Because if you get his last album, that Dangerous album, and the very last song is called You Should Be Threatened. And he said the first that you need to be threatened is coming from Never Never Land. And right after that, the baby shit started up again, the child stuff started up again. If you listen, it's called You Should Be Threatened. He said, where's the place? He said, Never Never Land. I'm the motherfucker up under your bed at night when you scared. You gotta get it. It's called You Should Be Threatened. That's the last song, the very last song on the album. They said, oh, this nigga here done lost his mind. The album is called I Am Invincible. And he is. Because wait till what happened after 40 days. When that nigga gets some billing. When we did that thing on him on that Monday. He came to the house that night. I said, what do you want, man? He said, I want some water and I want some popcorn. We had one bag of microwave popcorn left. Creator butter. You put that popcorn on and turned on the TV, and Thriller was on, and he was eating popcorn and damn shit with old lady in that Jerry curl. I said, look at this shit right here. But I said, no, it's sad that we don't know some stuff. He had to come to our house for water. All the Asians and all these people know from other cultures, you got to put up altars. You see what I'm saying? You got to put up altars and stuff like that. You see, all cultures got that stuff from us. The Mexicans, everybody. Y'all be laughing at the Mexicans. The Mexicans got their shit together. Fuck y'all. The Mexicans got they got a whole damn mall down there, a strip mall, and they got supermarkets and stuff, man. The Mexicans is rolling. You go to our shit and the doors falling down still raggedy. And I want to ask you a question. Why is it that all black businesses are always out of shit? We out of that. We out of that. That need to be the name of these niggas' store. We out of that. Am I bullshitting with this stuff? We out of that, and it's the highest shit in the world. Oh, brother, we're out of that today. I had a boss. I had a boss. He was a quintessential nigger. When the children would get down to the AU Center, they said, want a steak and cheese. His idea of a steak and cheese was 2 mashed up hamburgers on a sub bun with some A1 sauce, some A1 sauce mashed up on the damn sub bun and shit. And at first, the children go in the shop. What is this? You know. And then, about a week later, they go, wait a minute. This is a good-ass deal. I got a big-ass hamburger on a steak bun. And so I said, well, you say by that, they eat it because it's a bigger burger. But then you run out of steak buns, or sub buns, or we can do that on bread. Just use the shit all the damn time. Or we can do it on toast. Damn. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I'm just trying to say, don't be laughing at the Mexicans. The Mexicans have come up. They have arrived. Fuck y'all. They have arrived. Y'all laugh at them all the hell you want. They have arrived. You see what I'm saying? Don't look down on them. And they got their spiritual shit together, too. You go in their supermarket, they got candles, St. Michael, St. this, St. that. They got the La Santísima Muerte statue. They got all their spiritual shit. The Botanicals. You see what I'm saying? They got their shit together, and shit is working for them. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't give a damn what you say. They're more humble than you. I don't give a shit what you say. They are very humble people. Them niggas, I know it runs in Atlanta now. Y'all got a lot of them. When they come here, their behavior is impeccable. They get on the subway, they don't bother nobody, just as nice and loving as they can be. Niggas get on the subway, you be embarrassed. God damn it, I want to give this race to somebody. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. Today, I'm Chinese up here. It's crazy. Remember the last time I'm here now? It's the first time I've been in here where 5 good folks show up, having a good time, and when the little folks show up, that is the time when the over here got to show his ass. Remember that? I done spoken this thing over 10 times. No, folks, the day the folks show up, this nigga here got to cut the food. You see what I'm saying? Remember that the nigga was sitting over here, and this junker got to cut the food? I'm like most upper mobile black people. Did you have to do this shit while white folks? They already predicted when you come there, these motherfuckers gonna act like niggas, and this nigga get up here and do this shit. I was saying I had a chain I caved that brains in. It's amazing. Let's go on. Let's go on. So now, what the deal happened here was this. There was an actual deity called Erithiel. He was a Saturn deity, and he was coming to replace the age of Michael. So as a result, the Archangel Michael had to go to another level, and he needed his energy from the Michael Jackson. His energy was actually in several people. Mike Tyson, government shut him down, locked him up. Michael Jordan, the government tried to shut him down because he came back and still kicked ass. You see what I'm saying? And then Michael Jackson, you see what I'm saying? You see, which was the biggest of all. But that was the one where he had most of his energy vested in, and he had to take that energy back so it could change into Erithiel. Now, Erithiel, if you get the movie Jason and the Argonauts, the one from there's one from 1963, and there's the one from 2000. Now, when you get that particular movie, you're going to see Erithiel as his name is Orpheus in Greece, and he's the one that plays a lyre. That's the little thing that looked like a harp. But look what they say about him, who Michael has either replaced or how Michael has transformed into. Now, listen to this. This is for Jason and the Argonauts. This is a book on mythology. But I'm going to read this to you right now on what... I don't know if this is the thing that transformed into, but when I read it, it sounded like Michael Jackson. but I want to read it. So I think that Michael was the earthly version of this. Now I want to read this to you. Let me get this right thing. I should have bookmarked it, but I think I might be able to get this thing. Solar deities, the Argonauts. Let me just turn to the page, the contents, and see can I find the. Let me see. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you this one thing here.
He's the god of the what?
He plays a lyre, which is he's a god of music. His name is Orpheus in Greek mythology, which is actually Phoenician mythology. Which is Phoenician. Okay, page 124. Now, okay. Now I want to read this with this Orpheus fella and see what this is about. Orpheus is a mortal. Now listen to this. Listen to this. Orpheus, now this is what supposedly Michael had turned himself into. I kind of like clenched my hip right here, and I said, wait a minute, I drunk that water, and that hip on the side, y'all might think I'm coming gay up in here. So I had to take my hand away, because I had already mentioned that I drank this water might turn me gay, and I don't want to get out here. I want to get out here in the morning and say, that nigga go up in the lecture. You know, I told you last time, some guy was doing an interview with me, and he said, well, tell me, Bobby, how is it, you know what I said the last time I was here? The guy said, well, I heard that you shit aliens out your ass. How did you do that? I said, I ain't never said nothing about I shit aliens out my ass. But said, how did you shit aliens out your ass? I said, man, y'all done got stuff crisscrossed already. Now, Orpheus is a mortal who so excelled in music. Now listen to this. So I'm perplexed here. Because they say this is what the Michael's age or this image is going into. But maybe it's going into the heavenly version, and this could also mean the heavenly and the earth version. But listen to this. Orpheus is a mortal so excelled in music that almost equal the divine promoters or something like that. It also says, having no rival anywhere except the gods themselves. He played and sang. When he played and sang, no one or no thing could resist him. Now I want to read that again. Listen to this one little part right here. Having no equal and no rival except the gods himself. That was Michael Jackson. Became the biggest star in the world. But obviously, this Orpheus person, or Raphael that is turning into, it's got to be something on a whole other level. And I think that what they're talking about when they're talking about this particular person, they're not necessarily talking about another human being. What they're actually talking about is some stuff that's on the inside of you that is so awesome that they say it rivals the gods themselves, which means we're talking about a force that's coming, that's taking our constitution to a higher level. And Michael was a bridge to that. You see what I'm saying? Was a bridge to that. Because everybody in here could feel something. I had about 50 calls on my damn phone the night he died. You see, the night he died. Because people was trying to get some kind of bearing on what happened because they knew that it wasn't just a homicide type of thing. I'm even saying this, that even if it was a homicide, like one woman called me and said, even if they shot him in his head when he opened the door, that was the time he was supposed to go. So even in the spirit world, even if they set it up as a homicide, that was the time he was supposed to go. What time is it? You ready? I'm on? All right. It's a great day. I think Wycliffe John got it. He was one of the few people that sensed what was going on when they had the red carpet. When they had the red carpet at the BET Awards, and he said he was glad to be alive, to be a part of the celebration of Michael's homegoing. And that's the problem. We don't know enough about death. The Western man was one of the few people that didn't know about death, and so therefore by us becoming Western people, death is a mystery to us. We're going to get into this. I don't want to go into this because it's ironic. It's very eerie that we started on an angelic path in March. I think it was, March of this year. And I did a lecture in Baltimore on the African origins of the Archangels. And we also was able to witness the return of the finding of an African deity, an Ethiopian deity called Agnatur, which is this very ancient deity, because we've been looking for very ancient Kushite deities since we re-entered into Hemmitt over 20 years ago, when we started bringing up, when finally the black man found Egypt again, or found Hemmitt again, and we understood that Egypt was the daughter of Ethiopia or Kush. You see what I'm saying? So ever since then, we've been trying to find an ancient primordial deity that would line up with that. Well, a lot of the Egyptian pre-dynastic deities are Ethiopian deities, the Kushite deities. But we have this ancient Kushite deity called Agnatur. We'll show a picture of him. But the great part about it here is, with the finding of Agnatur, these particular angelic hosts started coming back to the planet. It all started with my queen, Linda, waking up one morning and doing a ritual to Raphael. And then this whole angelic odyssey started coming. Raphael is the Egyptian, the Coptic, which later on Christianity borrowed, version of the god Tahuti. Raphael is the god of healing. So he was the first to come through of that angelic line, and then other ones started coming through after that. So we've been on this angelic quest. We're going to have to go into, and believe it or not, because we started this in March, Michael Jackson becomes the fountainhead of this. It's almost eerie, because all you got to do is get the tape that I did on Mother's Day, where I started talking about the Archangel Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, the four energies. And it's eerie. Then the Archangel Michael ascends. Anybody heard the blog talk? The blog talk with me and Panic. What's the name of that? What's the name of the show? It's the Brother Richard show. Underground Railroad. And so we put together this blog talk. Was that last Monday? And actually, Monday before last, or whatever it was, it ended up being a correct eulogy for Michael Jackson. So I don't want to go into that, but I will say this particular part. Most people need, especially conscious people, need eulogies so that they can go to the right place. Otherwise, let's say, a lot of the Christian ceremonies or eulogies or funerals are designed to take a person to that particular realm of Christianity, or that particular realm on where we were based on us being dead. But if you have gained any type of previous knowledge, you don't want to end up in a realm, you see what I'm saying, where you don't want to end up in kindergarten when you're supposed to be at least going to the 8th grade. So it's the same thing. So you must find the right ceremony that's designed to go along with your consciousness. So you're not going to stop your family members from having the traditional form, but there needs to be somebody that's a friend of yours, or somebody, usually it's just one to a family that's conscious. You're good if you get two. But you need to have somebody in the community to do a ceremony. It only takes a few minutes to do a ceremony. You can do it in your house to make sure that that person gets through. You see, so Michael, although he was dead in a sense on the physical realm, his energy was so high as far as being that Archangel Michael, so it was fitting for us to deal with that at that particular time. And as a result, we literally was able to take him to the right place. We panic or whatever. Okay, now these are the rules. I hate to be this way, but these are the rules. We have cameras going and we got stuff going all over the world now. We're international. So that means that it's just like if you turned on the TV, see the BET Awards, you wouldn't see no crying babies. So if your baby starts crying, you got to take it in the hall. You see what I'm saying? Like that, because we get the slack back when we don't do that. And it's real sad because Jewel Pookrum did a tape, one of her tapes, and she was trying to be accommodating, and she did this tape and she was dropping all this information, and that baby was crying the whole time. Yeah. And it really it affected the actual lecture. You see what I'm saying? So I know mothers have this gift to drown out the sound because you run them all the time. But me, it's like torture. It's like torture. You see, so just keep that in mind. Y'all all right? Okay, we just gotta get things, that's what, I had a friend, that we was in school down in Atlanta, at Clark, Atlanta, with, okay, we'll do that. Then we'll see how we can move this thing. We was in school down in Clark, Atlanta, and one of the brothers at Clark was friends with another brother at Morris Brown, and the brother at Morris Brown, father at that particular time was called Hank Harwell, and he used to be Michael Jackson's boss. This was before Tommy Mottola came. Hank Harwell, I think he ended up going to Death Row Records and a couple other places, but he was real big in the music industry in the 80s. So the brother Bernard, they would get tickets to the Soul Train Awards. So Bernard, the first time he went, he came back, he was like, man, he said, it's amazing. He said, but you don't see when the cameras cut on. He said, before the Soul Train Awards, Don Cornelius comes out and has to literally walk these Negroes to the do's and don'ts. Take off them hats. We're not going to have this shit. We're not going to have that. We're not going to have that. And he would literally give them a crash course before the show starts. You feel what I'm saying? So, so that might be a bit rough, but you can't take it to chance. Because I remember down in Florida one time, my oldest brother, he's a year older than me, he got married in 1985. So we went down to Florida, and it was some Episcopalian church. And so we did the little wedding ceremony, because we was in the wedding, we was like, we did the little wedding ceremony. Me and my other brother and the best man and all the people of there. So we did the rehearsal the day before. So the preacher comes out and start going, we're not going to have this, we're not going to have that, we're not going to have this. And so one of the brothers who was a college professor, was a college professor that was in the party with my brother, it was his frat brother, got offended. I don't need that Negro to reprimand me on how to behave. And my aunt was at the thing. My aunt and my mother were school teachers, and they were at the wedding, and my aunt said, hold up. We down here in the middle of Orlando, Florida. You don't know what kind of Negroes there are down here that preacher had to deal with and contend with to make him set up a certain protocol before the weddings. You see what I'm saying? You don't know what kind of people, so she had to let him know, look, you can't just take the chance that people going to behave. Now, this ain't no throw up on the sister with the baby. I ain't talking about that. But it's just interesting how this conversation came up a couple of weeks ago. And it's interesting how this came in my head about the brother talking about how Don Cornelius used to come out and tell people how to behave and stuff like that, you see. But anyway, nevertheless, you knew that the ceremony that went on with Michael Jackson with the actual memorial, they said was almost flawless. Other than a few little time sequences, a little dead air between Smokey coming out at first. But they said it was flawless. And if you got past in the last 2 weeks, if you got past the controversy of his life, or if you got past the mourning or what have you, did anybody get a sense of an event? If you got a sense of an event, if it was almost an exciting time for you, then you know that that's the spiritual side of things. And even Suzanne DePass, who was one of the people who was instrumental in bringing him to Motown, when she came on Larry King Live that night, she said, this is an event. But if you understand transformation and understand that literally if there's ever any kind of person that we can think of in our mind and go, this brother is out of pain and suffering, it would be Michael Jackson. Because they said the last 10 years of his life was a living hell. You see what I'm saying? Was a living hell. You see, just with the psychological and just with the actual body breaking down, till they got new stuff on the internet, well, his whole immune system was gone. So if you understand a force, and anybody ever got this, because even Brother Clemson Brown yesterday, he was like, wait a minute, man, this is some exciting times. He said, we got the inauguration of Barack Obama, and then we got this Michael Jackson. Some people are still lost in thinking that you got to be programmed to be in mourning. You see what I'm saying? Without looking at some type of cosmic celebration or some kind of force that went to where it had to go. And you see what I'm saying? Did anybody get this type of energy? We even got reports, the Brother Panic got reporting people on the website that people were sick 2-3 days before this thing happened. The day before it happened, man, I slept all day. You see what I'm saying? Like a sedation. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to go into this as the fountainhead of this, but what we have to do is we got to go into the history of how all this stuff came to be. So we got a lot of stuff to deal with. But I'm going to do like Deborah Gray. I'm going to give my infomercials first. Well, I tell you what, let's do the libation. Where's the brother with the drums? Did he lead out? Well, let's do the libation first so we get this thing on the road. Because my queen called this morning, and she said, well, the first one to add on the list of the roll call or the libation, the roll call, we're going to do the first libation to Michael Jackson. And we telling people, I don't know, he might have a few, might have one out there left. I should have told him that there's 40 books. Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael. Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, and Uriel. There's 4 of these particular archangels. And this guy, Richard Webster, is the one. I should have told him to get most of the Michael books. I should have told him to get most of the Michael books. This is the Archangel Michael by Richard Webster, which is one that's probably a really precise read. It's very easy to get through. I think I read it in a day. You see, in a couple of hours and stuff, you see. So this is the one for $11.95 by Richard Webster. I want to tell you to get this as well as his Dictionary of Angels by Richard Webster. I want you to get the Encyclopedia of Angels by Richard Webster and the Archangel Michael by Richard Webster. But I implore you to get the other 3. Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael also, and the Archangel Michael. So this is one of the bases of where we put this stuff together, where we'll be putting this stuff together. So we want to do that. But what I want to do is pull my libation. This is This is a rum from Haiti. We couldn't get it at first. When it first hit from Haiti, you could get it in, believe it or not, Louisiana, New Orleans. But as of now, it's all over, and even in New York, you know. This is Haitian rum. They have the different ages. So this one was something like maybe something like $22. Then they have a white one for like 16, and then they have one for 30, and then they have one for 40. So the different age and stuff. But this one here is what is called Bourbon Court. But what's the how's it? Babacourt? Oh, well, la di da. That's to me, but Babacourt, rum Babacourt from Haiti. So this the Haitian rum. So we want to stick with this and all, you know. I've been libating with it all night and stuff. So, you know, so this is Haitian rum. Stick with this. And then we're going to back it up with some more devil spirits. 160 proof vodka. So if they sleeping on this one, that'll wake them up. You know it's a good rum when you don't wake up with a hangover. You know. So the mystery is, if you don't like hangovers, the higher the price, the less hangover you have. You see what I'm saying? You know. So we're going to do that, and this is the Devil Spring, 160 proof vodka. All right. Oh, let's put the angel water out there. So we're going to deal with that. And the first person we're going to call on is Michael Jackson, Archangel Michael, Michael, Melchizedek, Metatron, Raphael, Uriel, Gabriel. We'll do the angels, they'll just do. Raziel, Hemmitt, Samuel, let's see here. Aniel, Samuel, Cassiel. This is the angel list. So let's go on. Asset, Osar, Heru, Harakut, Marcus, Baron Sandy, Brigitte, Salamander, El Cristo Negro, El Cristo Rey, Las Spiritus and Tranquilas, Francisco Siete Reyes, La Santísima Pita Eva, La Santísima Muerte, Madre de Agua, Madre de la Luna, Mama Shola, Las Spiritus and Tranquilas, Azuli, Agua, Bambaluero, Edoero, Lakshmi, Vishnu, Shiva, Paveri, Sati, Sarasvati, Rama, Hanuman, Rama, Sita, Krishna, Radha, Bhagat, Lady, Shango, Oshun, Ogum, Himanya, Oya, Orapum, Baz, Richard, the Doom, Kalima, Adum, Nickelback, Uwajek, Sootnasset, Sootnubit, High Earth, High-Yamat, Segment, Tashet, Yoga, Selket, Mayat, Vipra, Nedura Atan, Al, Bal, Baz, Butchit, Nadoon, Kutumi, Agnatar, Allah Ribbonstar, Alat, Kama, Ama, Neama, Nomo, Yugalu, that's good, because they know who the hell they are. We're going to talk about this card today. This is Harihara, which is Shiva and Vishnu combined. When they combine, as you can see, this is the origin of the fairs. This is one of the origins of where the fairs come through. So Harihara, Ashe. So 1, 2, 3, start calling out your family members. 1, 2, 3, Hemmitt family, Shaw family, Davis family, Ferguson family, start calling out your family members. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Okay. We're going to do the 50-year anniversary this year of Billie Holiday, Ashe. We want to do the 30-year anniversary of Minnie Riperton, the pastor of Minnie Riperton. The 10-year anniversary of Curtis Mayfield. We want to also welcome this brother to the fold because he taught folks how to dance. The 30-year anniversary of Van McCoy.